started drinking first time when I was 10 years old.
See, I first started drinking when I was about 7 years old.
I started off drinking beer when I was 14.
I started drinking at the age of 13 years old.
And I started drinking when I was 13 years old.
I'm Irish Catholic. Whiskey is a big part of that. You know, St. Patrick's Day is pretty much one of our biggest holidays. Uncle Roger used to come over and bring the big keg of whiskey and give little Paul, 7 years old, a little shot here and there or whatever. And of course, after the adults would pretty much pass out or be gone, I'd go around and start sipping all their drinks or whatever.
When my father wasn't looking, I was going in the icebox and sneaking the booze out. When the adults wasn't paying attention, I was making drinks of my own at luau's and things like that. They didn't know. Many of us kids were doing the same thing without the parents watching us. We were very sneaky.
I grew up on a farm, and the farm across from us had a foreman that lived there year round, and I started going over and playing cribbage with him, and he drank wine. He started sharing his wine with me.
Over the course of generations, the idea of the pico, the center of the family, being mom and dad, both taking on the kuleana, the responsibility of raising the family, has weakened. And what tends to be the most prevalent weakness or causing that weakness is alcohol. Alcohol takes a parent away from their responsibility of being a parent, and puts a larger pressure or a larger load on the parent that is not the alcoholic. They end up feeling very isolated, very marginalized, almost like a single parent, because the person that spends a lot of time inebriated is not present or conscious or able to be a parent. Their skill set is hindered by alcoholism.
The greatest losses, of course, are, to me, I've always been somebody that had a strong relationship with God, more than just a pure religious basis. I mean, it was something that's always been important for me, so it was a defaulting of my values and principles, where you lose trust from your family members, and to me that's something that's very, very important. And I started losing all that because they didn't know what to do. You see it on TV, and you see alcoholics in the gutter and so forth, and then when it happens to your brother or sister or family member, people start getting freaked out because they don't know how to deal with it.
The problems I had, it has created legal problems. From the time I was a senior in high school, I got in trouble for an assault that would have never happened had I not been drinking. But I was drinking, and I assaulted an authority figure at our school, and it caused me to be on probation for 6 months, and I had to go to alcohol classes. And throughout the years, in my mid-20s, I got a couple of DUIs. From then on, it had been about every 10 years I would get a DUI.
I've been on the island now 6 years. I'm an electrician, and I lost my job as an electrician through drinking.
Well, it cost a lot of jobs, promotions. Of course, they didn't know that it was alcoholism. They just thought I was just sick all the time. But it was due to excessive alcohol drinking.
The thing that really hit me between the eyes was, as my daughter was driving me there, she had said that both of them were making arrangements for my funeral. They didn't know what to do. And there was times I was at the hospital. These things all come back to me. that they wouldn't cry in front of me, but they'd be behind the curtains and stuff, crying, you know, because they didn't know what to do. You know, their dad was dying and didn't know what to do. And so I said, you know, I realized, you know, I was a very selfish person.
On the 1st of March of this year, I had called a cab to have him run me up the street to get a few fists just to get me through the weekend. And I got those, came back, opened one up, drank about a third of it just to knock the shakes out, set the bottle down and realized really what I was doing. Walked into the other office and told my partner that that I've been trying to stop this on my own, and I just can't do it by myself. So he shook my hand, gave me a hug, packed me up, took me to the emergency room.
It leads to, mainly, my consequences have been not only legal, but now that I'm getting older, it's created physical problems with liver damage. Because of the way I drank, I was a power drinker, it's created damage to my pancreas and my liver. I'm now diabetic. I have the problems of diabetes.
It's normal. I used to have bad depression, and years ago, I went to the psych. They had me on medication. It was like $1,400 a month, and I got off of all of them. Abilify, Wellbutrin, Zymbalta, all that stuff was driving me crazy. Now I take it as a mood stabilizer, my blood pressure pills, and pills for my gout.
My consequences this time were 18 months ago. I was down at Triangle Park drinking, and next thing I know, I woke up in the hospital with tubes coming out of me. If someone hadn't called 911, then I would have died. So I actually died twice on the table. They had to intubate me twice, and then they put me in a coma, and I woke up 4 days later, and the doctor told me that they're not sure that they could save me, even though they saved me. Because I had such a bad bacterial infection, they weren't sure that they could pump enough fluids into my system or whatever to actually save my lungs. And with the grace of God, I survived that, and then I found out that I fell in the lava, and I had osteomyelitis in my leg, which is a deep bone infection. So they weren't really sure that they could actually save my leg.
You know, you have young children dying on the roads because they're drinking and driving, and even adults drinking and driving. It's crazy. It's really, really crazy. Last year, I noticed that it was like somebody was dying every month because of drinking and driving.
I'm the trauma program manager at North Hawaii Community Hospital. More and more lately, in increasing numbers, we're seeing youth involved in motor vehicle collisions, motorcycle accidents, ATV accidents, different things like that. And the good majority of the kids we see that are involved in accidents like that are intoxicated or they're under the influence of drugs. When these kids come in, some of them are so beyond our help that we can't fix them. It's very difficult to see not only these broken children who are going to die, it's very difficult to see the emotional things that their parents go through. They were bad people. It's not because they were stupid, it's because they made a bad choice. You can't change it. Their parents will never get to see them get married. They will never have grandchildren to be proud of and to hold on to, and it kills us.
people are involved with driving under the influence. I just had a case last year where we had a young man who was killed by an armored van. The driver had .282 blood alcohol content, more than 3 times the legal limit. In our state, we lose way too many people on our highways, traffic safety deaths, traffic deaths. We compared to other places where you have murders, and we do have murders, but very few murders. We have considerably more people who are losing lives on our roadways.
I couldn't really control myself. I had couple shots, couple beers. Those shots, those drinks led to another. I actually got in an accident, and it wasn't only a 1-car accident, it was actually a 2-car accident. This person really got hurt bad.
When we became foster parents, we went through a training that did not include any kind of education on fetal alcohol syndrome or what to expect or the symptoms of a fetal alcohol child. And we have actually researched it ourselves on the internet on how to care for him, what to do and what not to do, over the years. And what happens to them when they become of age to go to school, their attention span is very short. They cannot comprehend very well. They can't remember from day to day. So if he does something well today, it may not be the case for tomorrow. Constant reminders, a checklist always needs to be made and gone through every single day for daily routine things like brushing your teeth. That is how a fetal alcohol syndrome child's brain works. The information goes in but doesn't come out.
I think so much is focused on the harder drugs, that because alcohol is legal, it's taken lightly basically, but it affects your child if you're drinking during pregnancy. A pregnant woman who takes 1 drink could affect their child just as bad as a person who may drink the whole time of the pregnancy. And the person who drank only once, their baby could come out with worse symptoms than the person who's drank the whole 9 months.
And it doesn't matter what kind of alcohol you drink, wine, beer, hard liquor, it doesn't matter the amount that you drink. The damage will still be done to the child's brain. We want people to understand that this is not okay. 1 drink, 5 drinks, 10 drinks, a case of drinks. It's not okay.
And I am a child that my mother has drank alcohol when she was pregnant. And the difficulties that I have been through were, for my first 3 years of life, I had to have oxygen. I was very sensitive to touch. And every day or so, I would have to have physical therapy, speech therapy, every type of therapy that you can think of.
We've met a specialist from Chicago who has come here, Dr. Ira Chasnoff, that has taught us that what we are experiencing is actually normal for a fetal alcohol syndrome child, and they have been misdiagnosed and medicated improperly.
I started drinking at home. I would get off work, have a couple of drinks at this lounge, socialize a little bit, and then go home and drink. And I would power drink, pass out, and then get up and go to work. And I was a functioning alcoholic for quite a few years.
We will want to demonstrate what is moderate drinking. Moderate drinking is up to 1 drink per day for women and up to 2 drinks per day for men. Over that is considered heavy drinking. 1 drink equals to 5 ounces of wine, or 12 ounces of beer, or 8 ounces of malt liquor, or 1.5 ounces of whiskey.
What I'm seeing is a lot of deaths because of alcoholism, and also a lot of domestic violence because of children dying and women getting beaten up and children being abandoned. So those are the things that are really heartbreaking.
They need to be responsible when they hold first birthday parties. Alcohol should either not be allowed, or it should be very, very controlled. To have alcohol at a first baby's birthday party and at high school graduation parties is just totally unacceptable, and it should be totally unacceptable in our society. We, as a culture and as responsible human beings, we need to think about the consequences. When you have this alcohol at a social gathering, you are responsible for all those people who drive away that night.
Surprisingly, when we do our focus groups with youth, what they're reporting is they're feeling a lot of peer pressure in their family environment from their parents and their friends' parents to drink alcohol. And what the youth are asking in our community in North Hawaii is, please provide opportunities where there isn't alcohol. Please separate the cooler. We don't want to reach for a juice and have a beer there. We don't want to be offered alcohol when we come to our friends' houses, because it's hard enough to say no to our peers, let alone my own auntie or uncle or my bigger brother or sister. So they're asking for support in encouraging them to continue on a path of not drinking, and they're looking for opportunities and ways to have fun and engage where there isn't alcohol consumption. There's that old school idea that it's safer for our children to drink at home than to drink somewhere else. At least they're not going to get in the car. And what we're hearing from youth is they don't want those options. They want their parents to be the wall. That they want to be supported in the idea of not drinking.
In every term and condition that the judge gives us at court, alcohol is not allowed in any way, shape, or form. Which means, even though it's legal, if you have 1 drink while you're on probation, you're breaking your terms and conditions of your probation. So it's really a good law.
One way I try and keep away from alcohol is like doing sports. Doing rugby, it's really kept me away from everything else, because I feel that if I stick with rugby, it'll take me far. And so far, it's only been my 2nd year playing, and I've become the MVP of my age group, and that's one thing that I'm really proud of.
I run cross country, I do track, and I play soccer.
Instead of drinking, I surround myself with people who are positive influences, and if there are people drinking around, I try to remember what's important to me.
I volunteer in the community. I'm a part of the Circle K at UH Hilo, and I also focus on my studies and whatnot.
I have a lot of fun being sober, actually, whether it's being with my friends at robotics or being with my friends at P Club. It's just always being socially active, and there's no need for alcohol.
Instead of drinking alcohol, I'll find something else to do. Like I'll go outside and play baseball or something.
Instead of drinking, I hang out with my friends I hang out in my youth group and we talk stuff over and we find out ways to help others so that they're seeing the truth and they don't have to drink.
Instead of drinking alcohol, I play tennis with my friends, I study, and I want to learn new things, and I hang out with friends. I'm part of the Life Plan Youth Leadership Program, and we are planning to help youth around our community from drinking alcohol, doing drugs. So we're trying to get them to stop and tell them facts about how not to and what other things they can do instead of drinking alcohol.
Instead of drinking alcohol, I choose to enjoy my life healthy and find my own hobbies. And basically, there's so much stuff out there that's better than drinking. Like, you take something as simple as going to the beach or bodyboarding or photography, you get much more fill out of those things rather than drinking.
I like to go to the beach with my girlfriend and her family, and we like to play sports like baseball and soccer.
No matter how much you're being pushed to drink, don't do it, because you're going to regret it, and you're going to feel really bad about it, because it's just really shameful when you do, because you know it's not right.
Just be your own person and don't let others influence you. Stick to what you want to do.
I would suggest that no matter what situation they're in, they remember and keep in mind their values and what they think is important. So not only do what the situation wants them to do, but what they're going to be proud of and not ashamed of in the future.
I think that it just takes one person to say no for our whole group to say no. So for anyone that's like on the fence or something like that on drinking or not drinking, I feel like if you go with a friend, then you build more confidence to say no when it comes time to drink alcohol. Just find something that you're passionate about that is positive.
Choose your friends wisely.
Just don't do it. There's no reason to at all. I mean, when you weigh the risks and the outcome, there's nothing that's positive. There's no positive factor that'll make you swing to drinking, so there's no reason.
Don't drink alcohol because it makes you really stupid.
Try to take life more seriously and realize that your body is your temple and you have way more options to enjoy yourself with friends and family rather than being on another level than everybody else is. And being sober is better to enjoy everything rather than being numb to it.
Just not to do it because it tears families apart, and when you're under the influence, you don't really know what's going on, so you're easier to lose control and hurt your family members.
Getting pressured from there, you can just walk away from it. And having fun is, you don't have to drink to have fun. You can go do activities out there, sports, like especially we live in the island. The beach is out there, you can go surf. Instead of drinking, I mean, that's not really having fun.
Adolescents, adults, or whomever you are, grandmothers, uncles, aunties, you know what? Make time to sit down and listen to somebody. That's my job here. As a counselor, I listen. I don't give advice. What I say, the choice is yours. I'll lay it on the table for you, and that's it. That's all you can do, is let them make that choice.
The Just Say No program, as far as cigarettes and everything, seems to have worked on the schools, and hopefully they can maybe make a program like that or whatever for alcohol, because I always said that it wouldn't happen to me. I'm an intelligent person, highly intelligent, I've been told, and it happened to me. Now the consequences are I can't read, I can't see very good, my entire right side is weak.
Keep busy, go to the gym, crack a few jokes.
Alcohol ages you. It makes girls make poor decisions. Things that they put themselves in predicaments that they can't get out of.
For adults, you might think that you're being cool when
you give alcohol to minors, but what you're doing is you're damaging them and you're giving them less of a chance to have a successful life. The sign behind me, it's a banner, and it's a project that we did and we're still doing. When we do this project, the parents, they're pledging when they sign it to not host drinking parties for minors, and when minors sign it, they're saying that they're pledging to be alcohol free and to not drink.
Adults don't provide alcohol for kids at parties and such, because then they might do stupid things and hurt themselves.
Talk to them about it, like give them a chance to explain to you why they'd want to drink, and then like you build your argument on why they shouldn't drink on what they say.
Reach out for help, get involved with the community, learn about it, understand it, and don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to go to the community centers that know about this and get involved. Get involved with the community.
Listen. In that process, really listen. See where your children are, who they're hanging out with, get to know the other parents. Be aware. Be an educated parent. Visit your child's school, campus. Meet the teachers and the faculty there. Know who's at the park.
If you do go out and drink, have a designated driver.
The parents out there being tough on your children and knowing where your children are at all the time.
Pay close attention to your children. They're only doing what they're watching you do. If they think that you find that drinking is okay, that it's a way of life, they'll think for them that it's a way of life too. So pay close attention to them.
If you drink, lock the stuff up or just don't have it in the house.
And it's too culturally acceptable to drink alcohol, and that needs to change.
You need to start talking to your kids.
You have to look at the entire context of the family system, from kupuna all the way down to the opio and the entire family structure. To have the ability to self-reflect, an ability to think about self-control, and to think more deeply about how, as adults, part of our kuleana is to model for our kiki, for our children, but to exert self-control and hope that as we plant those seeds, that's what grows over time. So that as Native Hawaiians, we start to raise our population in a healthier lifestyle in general, because knowledge is power. And now you know. Now we know.